Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto had eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, part 2, hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. Hokage office. Reading the report, the Hokage looked at the two, then back at the report. Then handed it to the other man standing in the room. Sensei, the summoning technique is a space-time ninjutsu. There's a reason why it is not done without a contract. Maybe Hitomi pulled what could be some alternate version of herself. The Hokage took his pipe and filled it with tobacco before lighting it and taking a puff. A potentially mentally unstable mini Madara version of herself, no doubt. I swear that girl gets into the weirdest situation without trying. The Hokage sass. Hiruzen then looked at Jiraiya and ordered slap chakra restraining seals on him. That taijutsu worries me. Sounds like the Rinnegan. Jiraiya looked at him. I don't know if Sensei Nagato had two Rinnegan and they didn't have Tomo on them. Hiruzen shrugged his shoulders. Maybe Nagato was an Uzumaki with traces of an Uchiha. And this Naruto is an Uchiha with Senju blood. The professor theorized. I'll get to his sensei. And Jiraiya vanished. Hiruzen turned to the medic at the head of TI. Shall we greet our guest? 2 hours later. Naruto groaned as he woke. A white ceiling meets his eyes. He used his hand to stop the light from bothering his tired eyes. Was it a dream? Did I really fight Kuro? He thought to himself, did I really get a second chance elsewhere? The cough caught his attention. Naruto sat up and looked towards his left. Standing there was a very much alive Hiruzen Sarutobi. Looking every bit the shinobi that he had looked up to in his younger years. Hokage-sama? He asked, slightly confused. Am I dead yet? The Hokage fought to keep his laughter reined in. Shinobi-san. I have a few questions for you, just so we are all in. The Hokage said in business mode. Brown orbs looking at black and concentric purple. Your name is Namikaze Naruto, no? Naruto nodded. The Hokage continued. You're Konoha shinobi. Naruto nodded at Jonin. First Army. 2 Fighting Battalion. 5th Company 1st Platoon. Adding. The Hokage nodded. Then you understand the Konoha procedure for unidentified shinobi. Naruto nodded. A member of the Anbu torture and interrogation, conducts a mind dive. Naruto replied before flinching. Where am I? The Hokage relaxed his attitude a bit. Around 2100 hours someone attempted a summoning technique. They mostly failed. But you showed up with a knife intended for your heart. Whoever stabbed you missed, and our medic nin were able to close the wound. Naruto nodded. You saying I travel some sort of dimension or something? The Hokage nodded that there are some issues, however. Your parentage. Mikoto Uchiha married Fugaku Uchiha. And your father married Uzumaki Kushina. Naruto blinked. So you're saying I don't exist here? No, you don't. Stated the Hokage blankly. How's the war? Asked Naruto. Hiruzen thought to himself, he really grew up fighting. He sighed internally and told Naruto, fortunately there is no war. Not to the extent that your memories. I was surrendered when Minato overturned the Battle of Kanabi Bridge, exterminating over 1,000 enemies and destroying their supply line. Naruto blinked. And blinked again. And blinked some more, then burst out laughing. Wait. You're telling that shit bridge being destroyed shortened the war by 10 fucking years. His laugh turned bitter. Why didn't we think of that? The Hokage blinked. The ironic twist of how one detail could change the course of history. Who was the Hokage in your time? Naruto didn't even think twice about Hiruzen Sarutobi. Pupil of the 1st and 2nd Hokage. Known as the Professor. Sarutobi looked at the young man in front of him. Are you trying to make fun of me? Naruto shook his head quickly. It's a fact, sir. We won the Battle of Kanabi Bridge, but we took the bridge. We didn't destroy it. Although the fighting dwindled, the Kyuubi attack ensured the war would continue. Konoha and Iwa eventually signed an armistice in which Iwa benefited more from making demands due to their slightly better position. Despite the fact that Suna and Kumo lost the war against us. We simply spent more time, men and resources fighting 3 major powers when Iwa only fought and some minor nations, he said. Before his expression turned sour again, although the armistice came 10 years too late. Sarutobi nodded. He understood dislike for war. For he himself was a pacifist. The two talked about clarifying things about Naruto's past. His affection up until his attack on Iwa and his fight that all but destroyed Grass Country. I am worried about your mental state, Naruto. Only person I personally know that has lost as much as you is Tsunade, and she gambles and drinks across the elemental nations. Stated Sarutobi. Naruto nodded. I grew up in war. I was out of the academy at age 5. Junin when I turned 7 and became an 8. I was at Kanabi Bridge. And I was there when Dad took over Kyuubi. I begged him to let me take the Kyuubi and to spare little Hideyoshi. My stepmom begged Dad to allow her to take the Kyuubi with her to her death. But it would only be a stopgap measure. I didn't want to burden my youngest brother with shinobi businesses. So they sealed it in my using a 10 symbol seal. I saw them die. It's what triggered me, he told the old man. I have been on all 3 major fronts. Leading my own platoon against Kumo. I was just used to death by that point. The Hokage looked at Naruto with sympathy. Standard procedure dictates that I have someone watching you. I know someone who can relate to you. Who knows, maybe you two can help each other. However, there are two more problems. Naruto looked at the Hokage. The first one is rather simple. Kakashi will take on a Genin team. So I hope you will assist him if he passes them. Naruto queried that Kakashi is still failing. This time the Hokage laughed. Some things just don't change. He compassed himself the second and most serious problem. Your identity. Well, I could essentially make you the son of Makoto and Minato. The Uchiha clan has been reduced to just her and her youngest son Sasuke. Her oldest son, Itachi Uchiha, exterminated the clan. Naruto looked at the Hokage. You know, if you're trying to sell me this person is a mass murderer, it's not working. Most likely something happened that forced your hand at exterminating the clan, and Itachi was just the scapegoat or the executioner. They had to give it to the kid. He was good. No, I guess not. The clan elders were planning a coup d'etat. I tried to solve the matter diplomatically. But the village elders made it difficult. Until Danzo overstepped his authority and ordered Itachi in my name to kill the clan. Unfortunately, I can't put Konoha at risk, and Danzo has too much political backing to touch him. Naruto just curled an eyebrow. Dude, we're shinobi. We do shady shit all the time. Why not fabricate something and kill him? No one would bat an eye. The Hokage coughed a little. Now that's an idea worth looking into. Bastard thinks he can hide his roots from me. The Hokage stopped himself. Anyway, I don't see how I can explain a Sharingan wielder appearing out of nowhere. He paused for a second and looked at the purple eye. That's a Rinnegan if I'm not mistaken. Naruto nodded in affirmation at Tomo Rinnegan. A full Rinnegan would require me to have the full blood of the sage. Meaning the Senju, Uzumaki and Uchiha. I have no trace of Uzumaki blood in me. And the only Uzumaki I knew was my stepmother. Hiruzen filed that away. A knock on the door and the two people inside turned to see Jiraiya come in. Ryuke-sensei, you have been here a while. Hiruzen nodded to his student. I'm fine. We have just been going over what we know of Naruto here, and confirming what we know. Naruto this. Naruto waved at the man. I know. Where I'm from is my godfather. Hiruzen smiled again. Oh, that is great. Naruto curled an eyebrow, and Jiraiya looked at his sensei. Sensei, what are you thinking? Hiruzen smiled and said, we can't deny Naruto is the son of Minato. Aside from the hair and the eyes, everything else is Minato's. Naruto, Minato and Kushina did have a daughter named Hitomi. Here she happens to be Jiraiya's goddaughter. If we can convince Makoto that you are indeed her son, your familiarity with Jiraiya could be used as a cover. We could even say Hitomi is your younger sister. She kind of is, explained Sarutobi. Jiraiya blinked. That makes a lot of sense actually. But sensei, how are you gonna convince Makoto? It's not like we can tell her the truth. Hiruzen looked at his students. Actually, we kinda do need to. Naruto here has the most advanced Sharingan seen in almost a century. In fact, we cannot afford to keep it hidden. An Uchiha this powerful doesn't just pop up, stated the old man. Naruto, I'll talk to Makoto. I don't know how different the one I know will be from the one you knew. But remember, she is a single mother, who is dealing with the burden of losing one of her sons in her family. Naruto looked at the Hokage and said, I will take care of her. I just hope she accepts me. The Hokage tipped his ceremonial hat and left the building, ordering Jiraiya to retrieve the Uchiha matriarch. 30 minutes later. Hokage office. Makoto didn't know why she was being called to the Hokage office. She hoped Sasuke hadn't gotten into trouble. When she was led into the office by her former sensei and saw the Hokage on business mode, she really got worried. The Hokage dismissed Anbu from his office, as he had done all the previous times when dealing with Naruto. He cleared his throat. Sit down, Makoto. Keep an open mind, as what we have to discuss may shock you, he said. Hi, Hokage-san. Sarutobi opened a folder. A day ago, your goddaughter attempted to use the summoning technique. Well, she failed to summon any animal. Her luck somehow managed to summon a teenager. This teenager was on death's door, kunai sticking out of his chest. While the doctors were closing his wounds, DNA samples were taken. He told her, taking one of the folders on his desk and sliding over to Makoto. Namikaze Naruto. Age? 19. Sex? Male. Height? 6'0". Hair color black. Closest maternal match. Makoto Uchiha 99.3%. Closest paternal match. Minato Namikaze. 99.0%. Siblings. Hitomi Uzumaki, Itachi Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha. Kake Genkai. Sharingan. Patient's health status: aside from a stab to the heart and traces of toxins and extreme chakra exhaustion, the patient has no other health concerns. Makoto dropped the folder. Hokage-sama is some kind of sick joke. The Hokage, still completely seriously, shook his head. You know, I would never play around like that, Makoto. Aside from the fact that we can't send him back to his own timeline. If you know what the kid went through, you wouldn't even want to. Makoto took a deep breath. Don't kill the Hokage just yet, she told herself. It possibly couldn't have been that bad, she retorted. Jiraiya snorted. Girl, if what I read from the report Inoichi wrote, I doubt any of us would be as seemingly sane as he appears to be. Hiruzen himself looked harshly at Makoto. Tell me what you remember of the war. Makoto didn't know where this was going, but she didn't like it. I hated Hokage-sama. It was horrible. Before Minato finished his technique, we were getting pushed back, and Aiwa had us on a fighting retreat. She told the Hokage. Hiruzen asked a different question. Would you wish either of your children to go through such a conflict? Makoto snapped, hell no. Then Hiruzen stood up. Inoichi showed me some memories of the kid. Naruto shared his own tales of the conflict. He was born into it, and when I say that, I mean the conflict had already been burning hot for 10 years prior to his birth. The villages were at an all-time low. Remember Kanabi Bridge? At 8 years old he took part in that battle. He lost his mother at 4 years old to poisoning. His baby brother survived because of the Mikoto Uchiha he was born to. Had access to good doctors, and although they had to work fast, they managed to save the newborn baby and give the mother and son enough time for her to say her last goodbyes. 5 years later, a 9-year-old witnessed his father and stepmother sacrifice their lives to stop the Kyuubi rampage in the village. His stepmother had given birth to his youngest brother, and they were gonna seal the beast in that baby. But he stared down his father into becoming the host of the Kyuubi, even though having no Uzumaki blood, the chakra of the beast could potentially kill him. 2 years later the same little brother was assassinated. It drove him mad enough to take on an entire battalion of Kumo shinobi and the Reikage and still win. 3 years later he lost his only remaining brother. That brother gave him his eyes, preventing blindness caused by the Mangekyou. A stage of the Sharingan he unlocked watching his father die. Makoto was rocked to her core. This person shared her DNA, he was supposed to be her son. I have gone through so much. She started to tear up. Hiruzen felt slightly bad. He didn't want to hurt the woman, but this was a serious situation. I'm sorry, Makoto, but this is a serious situation. I didn't mean to hurt you. But there's a reason why I want you to claim him as your son, not just because it would be convenient and easier to explain. But also there's the fact that being of mixed Senju Uchiha blood allowed him to reach a level of prowess we only ever seen in one person. He unlocked the legendary Rinnegan, and has the EMS. From his own account and his own memory, he has already snapped once. Makoto felt her stomach turn. What do you mean he snapped? Hiruzen sat back down. He didn't make the war completely unscathed. Towards the end of last year he was poisoned. Using medical cocktails and his own resistances to most poison, he was able to fight it for years. But the strain of having so many deaths surrounding him, and his fear of loss, caused him to defect his Konoha. From what he admitted to us, the last time anyone saw him, he had destroyed Tsuchikage's tower and challenged the mother of his child into battle. Jiraiya snorted. Sensei. You're understating, challenge to battle. From what I read on that report he went full Madara Uchiha. He almost won too. That girl was lucky to have two at her side, and the fact he still cared for her and his child. Sarutobi looked at his student. Jiraiya. We're not trying to scare Makoto. Hiruzen turned back to the Uchiha. It's true that when he challenged her to battle he unleashed the might of the Kyuubi. Makoto turned towards. If he was that powerful, how did he lose? You told me he was found near death when Hitomi-chan found him. She exclaimed. Naruto Namikaze, at the time of the battle, was already dying for sure. The poison that had been in his system is similar to the one that Orochimaru attempted to kill Hitomi with. But from what we're told, good doctors by that point were extremely scared. He told me when he broke up with the girl, she had been between 2 and 4 weeks pregnant. And when he saw her bring the child into the mix and summon a sealing altar, he used the last of his failing strength to seal the Kyuubi into his child, before asking the girl to kill him. Whatever trick of fate allowed to summon him to us was a miracle, explained the Hokage. Makoto, now placated, asked, can I meet him? At the hospital. Naruto looked as the door opened. Slowly a raven-haired woman stepped through the door. She looked exactly how he remembered his mother to be, if only slightly older. Behind her the Hokage walked in. This is Naruto. Naruto, this is Makoto. Makoto greeted shyly, analyzing the team before her. The eyes and the hair were definitely Uchiha. The eyes were her own. Everything else reminded her of Minato, though, from his voice to his physique. But she could definitely see that he could be her son. Was her son in another life. Elsewhere in the village, Kakashi was standing in front of the monument dedicated to those who had fallen in defense of Konoha. As he always did, he felt the presence of Jiraiya next to him and put his book away. Do I have a mission? Jiraiya nodded and began to explain everything. Next day, Naruto had been dismissed from the hospital with an order to take it easy. The chakra restraints had been removed and his healing rate began to accelerate. The sixth Tomo returned, showing his eyebrows was accessible to him once again. The woman that embodied his mother in this timeline at his side, the two were standing in front of the Hokage. Remember Makoto? You had Naruto when you were 18. Naruto, you have been away with Jiraiya since birth. Training. If anyone asks you how you got to that level of the Mangekyou, tell them you developed it naturally. Hiruzen went over. Mikoto looked at Sarutobi Hokage-sama. Since Naruto is technically an adult, couldn't he claim Hitomi-chan custody? Sarutobi looked at the matriarch and nodded. Yes, I'm already working on it. Most likely after team placement will you be able to fully take her in. I know she would like to have some family. Naruto stayed silent. He doubted he was fit to take care of another person. He sighed, it's his own fault. Naruto, I want you to come to semi-regular sessions with the Noichi. I'll add you to the roster, but I want to guarantee you're not dealing with these issues on your own. Naruto nodded. Hiruzen then turned to Kakashi. He will help you around if you decide to pass the team I assigned you. If they fail, then he will be your partner until he is clear to work on his own. Understood. Kakashi nodded, silently watching this Naruto person. From what Jiraiya told him, this kid was a dimensional traveler that his sensei's daughter managed to pull out from another dimension. The boy shared his pain. He was also supposed to be the son of his sensei and Mikoto Uchiha, although as unlikely as it sounded, the DNA match spoke for itself. But he would keep an eye on him. No one got as powerful as Naruto without having some type of quirk. Mikoto smiled. She took Naruto's arm and left the Hokage Tower. Once they were outside the Hokage Tower, Mikoto slowed down a bit. While looking at Naruto, she said, somehow I have to introduce you to my son Sasuke. And he won't take the news that I slept with another man that wasn't an Uchiha. Hey, what a mess, Naruto sighed. I'm sorry if my presence is causing problems. I'd never imagined this would happen. Nor wanted it to. He told her. Mikoto let go of Naruto and clarified, I'm not unhappy. After all, in some world I'm your mother. It would just take getting used to. Besides, there's the fact you're a grown man, war veteran and powerful. But my son isn't the easiest to deal with. He has been obsessed with killing Itachi since that happened. And he wouldn't like it if some person claiming to be an Uchiha wielding the Sharingan that is supposed to be his oldest brother suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Then there's the fact that Sasuke idolized my husband. And your son of the fourth. He would view you as a bastard or a threat to his position of clan heir. Naruto nodded. Well. To the last one, I will never drop my father's name. That's the only connection I have left to him. And I don't care about clan status. And if he has a problem, well, we will deal with it when we get there. Mikoto accepted, and the two made their way to the Uchiha compound. Sasuke Uchiha had just returned from training. As he approached the house he shared with his mother, he felt a shift in the air. He slowed down a bit. When he made it home, he saw his mother as she always did at this time of day. But when she greeted him, she had a serious face instead of the usual smile. Sasuke, there's something we must discuss. Take a seat. Sasuke nodded and sat down in the chair in front of her. Sasuke, what I'm about to tell you is very serious. So I want you to remain as calm as possible. Sasuke looked at his mother. What's going on, mom? What happened? Mikoto sighed. Sasuke, you know that before I married your father and settled down, I was on a Genin team with the 4th Hokage. Sasuke nodded that he had seen the pictures. Sasuke, Minato and I had a little bit of a wild night when I became 18 and just became a Jonin. I became pregnant with my first child. What? Sasuke blew up. Mikoto raised her hands in defense of Sasuke. I was young at the time. Well, we had a child. And he was given to Jiraiya-sensei to hide away. Although Minato hadn't earned his reputation yet. The war was well underway. Hell, not a year later did Konoha and Fire Country sign the official declaration of war. She stopped observing Sasuke. He was a whirlwind of emotions. Mikoto continued, we named him Naruto after the first book Sensei wrote. Although Naruto has been away since then. He didn't have contact with us until recently. Sasuke was pissed. His mother had another child that he didn't know about. What did father think? Mikoto sighed. Just like his father Fugaku didn't know. Sasuke, I'm telling you because Naruto is back in the village. And I met him. He is incredibly strong. Stronger than Itachi. Sarutobi-sama put him on par with Madara Uchiha. Naruto is not someone who grew up in a nice environment. He grew up in Warsachi. I'm telling you because I don't want you to fight him. Even if you don't like him. Try getting along with him for my sake. She pleaded. Sasuke sighed. I will try. For my mother at least. Sasuke asked what he thought of Itachi. Bit her lip. Why don't you ask him? I'll get him for you, no. Sasuke-chan in acknowledgement. Mikoto stood up and went into the hallway. A few seconds later she came back, with an older teenager. Sasuke analyzed him. His hair and eye shape were that of Uchiha. But the two different eyes unsettled him. One was the familiar black he had seen on his mother's eye. The other was purple with 3 concentric rings around a dot that marked the center of the eye. In the first 2 rings he could make out 3 tomo in each level, much like a matured Sharingan. He wore a loose black shirt and black slacks. The shape of the face he could tell looked like the 4THS Hokage face. Same nose and ears. Sasuke is Naruto Namikaze. Naruto is Sasuke my youngest. Naruto tipped his head slightly. I will go prepare some dinner for us. Mikoto stood up and left to prepare dinner, leaving the 2 boys. Sasuke looked at Naruto. What is that weird eye? You have some sort of transplant. Naruto shook his head. That's a version of the Rinnegan. I woke up because my father had Senju in his blood. If you know the history between the Indo clan wars, then I'm sure you know we share a common ancestor. Sasuke nodded. He had heard that they both claimed to be descendants of the sage. Where were you all this time? Sasuke asks. I can't say. But all I can tell you is that it was a land ravaged by constant warfare. Naruto responded. Sasuke asked, what do you think about Itachi? Naruto was silent. He couldn't tell Sasuke the truth. He would have a measured response that would hopefully placate Sasuke. And hopefully, if what Mikoto told him was true, steer him into a more positive road. Sasuke. What do you know of the Sharingan? Besides what it does? Sasuke looked at him oddly. I know that it has 3 stages. 4 if you count the Mangekyou. It is activated in life or death situations. That's about it. Naruto sighed. He activated his base Sharingan looking at Sasuke. Have you read the second Hokage's journal on the Sharingan? Sasuke shook his head. Naruto kneeled in front of the teen Sasuke. The Sharingan is an Uchiha's manifestation of his or her pain. Well, it's true you can awaken the Sharingan in life or death situations. The Sharingan is awakened mostly by a feeling that connotes loss, grief and desperation. I can see you have already manifested the Sharingan. The scar that your brother left you runs deep, doesn't it? Sasuke was shocked. How can I have my Sharingan? Naruto looked at Sasuke and said, can you channel chakra through your eyes? Sasuke shook his head. I never did it. Naruto just looked at him. Try it now. And so Sasuke closed his eyes. Reaching into himself, Sasuke reached his chakra and grabbed it. Before opening his eyes and looking at Naruto, who had blue lines running around him while Naruto tapped his shoulders. Take it easy, you're pushing way more chakra than what you actually need. Turn it off before you get exhausted. Sasuke complied. What about Mangekyou? Is what Itachi said true? Do you really need to kill your best friend to get it? Naruto looked at Sasuke oddly. The hell is Itachi telling this kid? No wonder Sasuke is fucked up. Naruto looked at Sasuke. No, the Mangekyou Sharingan. It is not another stage to unlock. The Mangekyou Sharingan manifests when an Uchiha feels deep grief or regret. Look at me. Naruto said. Pushing more chakra into his eyes, his Sharingan spun, gaining more and more speed before becoming the Mangekyou. His Mangekyou manifested in a 3-propeller blade type, with spikes coming out of each blade. My Mangekyou Sharingan manifested when I found out someone I deeply cared about sacrificed their lives so others could live theirs. I never killed anyone I ever cared about. In fact, I tried to go the extra mile to protect them. He smiled sadly. However, Sasuke. A warning. The Uchiha, despite their power, our eyes are cursed. When an Uchiha loves, he loves more than the average person. But when that love becomes hate, and happiness becomes anger, the Sharingan gives us an illusion of power, causing us to drown ourselves even deeper into our hate. Don't become what Itachi is. Look at how Madara ended up. He had the Kyuubi, an advanced stage of the Sharingan more powerful than the Mangekyou, and his own prowess. He fell victim to the curse of hatred, and even still, Hashirama slapped him around during their final battle. Sasuke was looking at him with wide eyes. Naruto smiled at him. I'll help you become strong. But promise me you won't let the hatred consume you. Don't make the mistake that Uchiha before us have made. Sasuke nodded, speechless. No one had told him this side of the Uchiha. He was rethinking some of the choices he made. How can I overcome the curse when so many before us have fallen? How did you overcome it? Naruto stood up. You fill yourself with love, Sasuke. Hold on to what you have. Be thankful for every day you still have. Make friends and live life. And the most important, Sasuke was a shinobi. Eventually you will lose people you care about. Mourn them. Honor their memory. But also let go. They will be waiting for us. My best friend once told me, do not pity the dead. Pity the living. That is how you overcome the curse. Naruto turned on his heel towards the kitchen. 3 days later, Hitomi was sitting in the classroom. She was happy. Finally her career as a shinobi would start today. She was one step closer to becoming Hokage. Soon Sasuke walked into the classroom, while Hitomi adored her godmother, not that she knew that, Mikoto. The bastard was a pain in the ass to deal with. He took a seat next to her, which surprised her. Bastard. She greeted me. Sasuke looked at her. Dope. You know this is for graduates, right? Hitomi developed a tick mark on her forehead. I know that Mizuki team attempted to fudge my grades, so I got a retake. Sasuke raised an eyebrow. Why would an academy teacher attempt to make the dead last fail, he thought to himself. Iruka walked and everyone settled down. Alright everyone. Today marks your first day as a shinobi of Konoha. But don't celebrate yet, being a shinobi is not easy. Being a shinobi is being a soldier. And we are the strength of the village. Some of you will fall. Some of you will go on to become legends. And who knows, one of you may even become the next. Iruka finished giving his speech. After a bit of chatter, Iruka cleared his throat. Alright kids, time for team assignment. He began listing teams. Hitomi turned him out for most teams. Team 7. Uchiha Sasuke. Checked off Iruka. Sasuke perked up. Haruno Sakura. Sakura cheered off as other girls groaned in disappointment. Shaw. Take that Ino pig. True love wins. And Uzumaki Hitomi. Hitomi slammed her head against the desk. Sasuke raised an eyebrow. So they're going with the classic Team 7. Naruto looked at the memorial stone in front of him. Kakashi looked at the stone. Humbles you to think so many people we cared about ended up in this rock, huh? Said Naruto. Kakashi nodded. What's your biggest regret? Kakashi asked. Naruto looked at the white-haired man next to him. Not spending my last few years with my family. Forcing my girlfriend into a battle that had she not had backup for she would not have survived. The fact I almost left a baby girl orphaned. With her own burden because her daddy was scared. Naruto looked back at the stone. What's yours? Kakashi put the book he was reading away without spending time with my father. Or my teammates. Breaking the promise I made Obito. Naruto looked at the watch. 2 hours. Think we're sufficiently late. Kakashi gave him a nice smile. We're going to have a wonderful friendship. Academy. Room 279. Sasuke was bored. Hitomi was bored. Sakura was bored. Hitomi stood up from her chair and took the chalk eraser from Iruka's desk. Using a chair as a stepping board. She balanced the eraser between the door and the doorframe. Moving the chair away and sitting back down. A few minutes later a man with gravity-defying silver hair stepped through the door, and the eraser hit him spot on. Hitomi burst out laughing, Sakura attempted to make excuses, and Sasuke hid a smirk behind his hands. Kakashi looked in front of him. You're all boring. Meet me on the roof, 5 minutes. And disappeared into a poof of smoke. On the roof. Kakashi and Naruto were talking when Kakashi received the memory from the shadow clone. 5 minutes later the 3 kids burst through the door. Kakashi looks at his watch just in time. Take a seat. Naruto looked like Sasuke, a pink-haired girl who he assumed was Sakura. And Hitomi Uzumaki, who he identified through her whisker marks. Blonde hair that fell to her middle back. And a hideous orange jumpsuit. Whoever gave her that is a dead man. Kakashi clapped his hands. Alright. My name is Kakashi Haddock. I am your Jonin sensei. Next to me is Naruto Namikaze. He will be assisting me in teaching you. Why don't you introduce yourself? Sakura raised her hand. Kakashi sensei. What do you mean? Naruto almost face-palmed. Kakashi almost face-palmed. Hitomi did facepalm. Sasuke shook his face. Naruto spoke up. You know your name, likes, dislikes, hopes and dreams. Sakura looked at him. Why don't you go first, sensei? Naruto looked at Kakashi. Kakashi sighed in annoyance and said, my name is Kakashi Haddock. I have likes, dislikes as well. My dreams. Well, I don't really have any at the moment. He passed the torch back to Naruto. Oh, I'm going to prank you so hard, Kakashi. Just you wait. Naruto told himself. Well, my name is Naruto Namikaze. I like eating ramen every once in a while. Learning or developing new techniques as well as pushing myself to new heights. I dislike war and Kumo Shinobi. And my dream, I guess, is having my own family. Sakura again raised her hand. Are you related to the 4th Hokage? Naruto answered yes. This time Hitomi asked, but it wasn't the 4th Hokage single. If he had a son we would have known. She said. A tad resentful thinking of the burden the 4th placed in her. Naruto looked at her. I was born outside of wedlock. Besides, my identity was hidden for my safety. Naruto clarified. Who was your mother? Sakura asked. Naruto looked at Sasuke. My mother was an Uchiha, that's all you need to know. Naruto replied, ending the subject. Kakashi looked at Sakura. Since you feel chatty, why don't tell us about yourself, Pinky? Sakura blushed. Well, my name is Sakura Haruno. My legs are. She looks at Sasuke and squeals, so this is a fangirl. Naruto thought to himself. My dreams are. Again she looks at Sasuke and squeals even louder. And your dislikes? Asked Kakashi. Hitomi and Ino. Sakura screams. Naruto thought to himself, this girl will either drop out or get us all killed. Kakashi was running along the same train of thought. Girls today are more interested in guys than. Kakashi points at Sasuke. How about you, Sunshine? Sasuke brought his hands interlocked. In front of his mouth. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I have a few likes and too many dislikes to count. My dreams. I will bring a man to justice. Kakashi narrowed his eyes on Itachi. Naruto was thinking something else entirely. He is getting better. At least he didn't say kill. Kakashi nodded and pointed at Hitomi and lastly the hyperactive blonde. Hitomi raised her hand. I'm Hitomi Uzumaki. I like ramen. Tasting different types of ramen. I like the ramen Iruka sensei buys even more. I enjoy spending time with Mikoto-chan. I dislike those who look down upon others for no reason and bullies. And my dream is to become Hokage. So people will stop disrespecting me and treat me like I'm somebody. Somebody important. This was Naruto's moment to narrow his eyes. This is my little sister. Ramen addict, attention starved. At least she had Mikoto. I promise both of you, Sasuke. Hitomi, I'll make you into the best you two can be. I promise to protect you both. Even if you hate me for it. I will not fail this time. Kakashi thought Hitomi is possibly the most normal. But she will need the most work if the academy reports are to be believed. I will have to rotate Naruto and myself to take turns to work with her. Sakura is in need of a reality check. And unless she herself realizes the dangers of the shinobi lifestyle, there isn't much we can do to help her. Sasuke is in the best shape so far. But his obsession with Itachi could make him a potential danger to himself and others. He looked at Naruto, who was looking between Sasuke and Hitomi. He will be an important part of this team. He clapped his hands. One more thing. You're not just yet. There's one more test you must take if you want to become an official shinobi. Sakura screeched, what do you mean another test? Why did we take the graduation exam in the first place? Kakashi's eyes smiled. Oh, that. That is to filter the hopeless from those with a chance to become a shinobi. Be a training field 3. 5 a.m. Don't be late. And don't eat breakfast. Or you will puke. He disappeared, leaving on swirling leaves where he once stood. Naruto stood from his spot on the veranda. Hitomi, Sasuke, you two are coming with me. Putting a hand on each of their shoulders, he activated Kamui and teleported away. A second later he appeared back at the compound. Hitomi and Sasuke looked at him. What was that? Hitomi asked Kamui with stars in her eyes. Kamui. An ability I got from my Sharingan. Stated Naruto. Makoto was sitting reading a book on the porch. She saw Naruto appear out of nowhere. With Hitomi and Sasuke. Sasuke-kun, Hitomi-chan. Thank you for bringing them to Naruto. Naruto nodded. Sasuke was confused. Oh, what's going on, mom? Sasuke asked his mother and sensei inside. Sitting at the table, Makoto commanded the two. Sasuke, Hitomi. The reason why you're here is because Hitomi will be living with us from now on. Both Hitomi and Sasuke exploded. What? Naruto took a sip from a water bottle he carried on him. Sasuke. As you know, my father and our mother had a very brief relationship that resulted in my birth. But what people don't know is that the 4th Hokage too married. During the final days for the 3rd Ninja War, when he had just become Hokage, he married Kushina Uzumaki, an S-class shinobi on her own right who, from what I'm told, had a bone to pick with Kumo shinobi, and sent squads packing. Hitomi couldn't control her excitement. Yeah. Take that, bastard. I'm the daughter of 2 baddest shinobi. Naruto looked at Hitomi. Hitomi. I need you to promise me to never let that information leave this room, he said, looking her straight in the eye. What? Why? Naruto sighed again. For the millionth time that day. Hitomi-chan. Dad had a lot of enemies. During the Kusakager campaign, which saw the Battle of Kanabi Bridge and the destruction of the bridge itself, Dad killed a lot of people. Many of them mothers and fathers, sons and daughters. Aiwa hates the 4th and would do anything to hurt his next of kin. Hitomi looked disappointed in herself. She wasn't stupid despite the mask that she wore. She understood the consequences of the 4th's action. Can I at least talk about my mom? Makoto looked at Hitomi with sympathy. Hitomi-chan. Your mother too had many enemies. Once Kumo attempted to kidnap her. They would have succeeded had it not been thanks to Minato. They will try again with you. Naruto nodded. Brighten up, Hitomi-chan. You got a legacy behind you. Dad was the grandson of Toka Senju, youngest sister of Hasamar, and Tobarama. You're the daughter of the 4th. The blood of the Hokage flows strongly with you. And you have me trained by Jiraiya sensei. We studied under the 3rd and taught Dad. Hitomi brightened considerably. Before looking downcast again. Hey brother. Can I talk to you in private? Naruto took another sip of water. You're wondering why Dad chose you to seal the Kyuubi? No. He told her. She stood up and pointed a finger at him. Naruto raised his hand. I know about Kyuubi. You're not the first, not even for the Kyuubi. Hitomi's hand began to shake. Hitomi. When Hasamara saw Madara had Kyuubi at his side. His wife Mito Uzumaki sealed the Kyuubi into herself when the first Hokage broke the control that Madara had on the Kyuubi through his Sharingan. For Mito-sama, the Kyuubi was sealed into Kushina when Mito became too old. I don't know what happened, but my guess is that Kushina was attacked during childbirth. And Kushina was a strong shinobi. Her special chakra chains could hold on to her. So something must have happened. But whatever happened resulted in you being the 3rd Jinchuriki for the 9 tails. Hitomi dropped to her knees. I'm just a weapon. Naruto moved to hug the girl. Hitomi, all shinobi are weapons to be used by their cage. Or that's how it is supposed to be. However, no cage would last long in power with this mentality. The Hokage truly cares for all his subjects under his command. But some sacrifices must be done to protect the village. Unfortunately, you were the sacrifice that saved the village. If I had been there, I would have convinced Dad to let me take the burden. Don't doubt that you are cared for. Hitomi sniffed and nodded. Although neither you and Sasuke are related, you two are my siblings. And it is the job of the older brother to take care of his little brother and sister. Hitomi hugged Naruto. Sasuke looked at him with his Sharingan unknowingly active. Makoto smiled too. If only Itachi, Minato and Kushina were there to complete the picture. Now the two of you eat as much as you can now. Remember what Kakashi said about tomorrow. Makoto returned to the kitchen to finish serving dinner. Thanks for watching my video, leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time, till then sayonara.